Right now.
Yeah. Also, like,
I'm gonna do groups of 8 to 10. Everybody else can wait across the street. Apparently the business is here. I had no idea.
Oh my God, that's the ridiculous scene in New York City as people lined up from the front door of an apartment, down the hall, down the stairs, out the front, and down the block just to view a potential apartment. Now, it's not necessarily that this is the only apartment that's available in the entire huge city of New York City, but actually that maybe it's the only one people can try to afford. I'm not even sure if they're fully able to do it even in this point. Let's go to this next video, you guys, explaining the dire situation that's going on.
We are getting played in New York. Last week it was reported that you now need to earn at least $106,000 a year to rent anything in New York City. That's based on the median rent in Manhattan. If you don't remember what a median is, Google it. I'm not your middle school math teacher. Which has increased 32% since last year. Now to rent a studio apartment in Manhattan, it's gone up 28.4% since last year. So to rent a studio, you have to make $114,000 a year to pass the 40 times rent rule. Now side note, that 40 times rule not really applying right now because there's so many people applying for apartments. A friend of mine was applying for a studio apartment in Manhattan the other day. He was asked to show 80 times the monthly rent on his application. Now here's the kicker. The median New York household income is reported at $67,000 a year. So there's basically a $50,000 discrepancy between the median household income and like the median rent for a studio apartment in Manhattan. So basically the median household income in New York City has just been decreasing for the past few years, but rent is 30% up.
Weird how that works. A little bit more details on this. It's a new record high for rent in the city. It's coming off of record lows during the thick of the pandemic. The unprecedented demand for apartments in the city as New Yorkers return to work and new work from homers move to New York City has resulted in bidding wars for studio apartments as opposed previously reported. So again, this is an offshoot of course, our economy. It's an offshoot of the way that people want to control things. And 100% it's an offshoot of capitalism. As we saw in that last line, there's bidding wars going on for studio and 1-bedroom apartments. And people have to be making 6 figures for a studio apartment. This is along those same lines when we talk about wages, when we talk about jobs, when we talk about how much people are paid. And they're like, how are we gonna do this to these businesses and make them actually have to pay people? It's insane. Well, they have to live, they have to get to work, they have to breathe, they have to drink some water every once in a while. All those things get overlooked because again, capitalism is the deity of the country. And once you have your deity as a capitalism, everyone else is screwed.
Yes,
Sorry for
the market gods must be fulfilled. Honestly, screw the market when it comes to housing. It should not be subjected to market values. Who cares if landlords can get the money? Morally, they should not be able to get that money. We need rent strikes. We need massive tenant action. You cannot squeeze people like this in a city like New York and not expect pushback. So Eric Adams, get ready, buddy, because your real estate homies are looking for a fight and they'll get one.
The talks about being lazy and stupid and millennials and all that has worked long enough for you guys to demonize the people who are the victims of this system. It's gonna come to an end. I'm not sure if they have a plan for how long they're gonna go for this, but it can't last that much longer. That scene is ridiculous.